What makes a narcissist? Welcome to Coffee Time with John. A beautiful, beautiful day here today in the 30s. And I got a message here that I wanted to read to you directly because it's got some great stuff in it. And it's all about narcissism. And I'll dive into what my thoughts are on this because that's what they've asked me to do. John, have you ever done a clip for people that have narcissistic personality trait? I'm always curious as to why these individuals run around causing so much pain to others and why they're not aware of the pain they cause people. I know some of them go through pain in life. Most people are able to reflect on the pain that they have gone through in life and move forward. But it seems as though they cannot, and they can't face their internal pain and project it on others. Just curious as what your thoughts are on the narcissistic trait. Love this question, okay? There's a word. The word's called ego, and most people mistranslate what the word means. The word does not mean narcissist. And most people say, well, they've got an ego, don't they? That's not how the word is supposed to be used. The word means self-awareness. The word ego means self-awareness. We all have ego. We all have self-awareness, or you wouldn't be here listening to this video at all. You have an ego because you have self-awareness. Now, there are those people who are empathic, who put all of their awareness on others and forego themselves. And they struggle in life because they are not treating themselves as an equal to anyone else. And then there are the narcissists who put themselves above all others. And they put their awareness on themselves to the exclusion of all others. And there's a real reason why. And your question taps into it towards the end here. It says they can't face their internal pain. It's interesting that you say it that way because that's exactly why they're narcissists. Right? People become narcissistic because they're afraid that they're going to be hurt by others. And so they step into this thing that they are right and they are smarter than everybody else and they're better than everybody else. And they create their little box that says, this is the way the world is and all the rest of you suck. Right? And really the reason they're that way is because they're afraid of not being loved. They're afraid of being seen as a fraud. They're afraid of doing something that will make people think less of them. And so they become narcissistic to avoid the actual struggle of being judged. And so they literally shut down connection with others or value of others just so they won't be hurt. And it's very interesting because when you look at a narcissist, they will harm others in the process because all of us are looking for love. All of us want to be loved unconditionally. All of us want to have people around us who love us for who we are. But narcissists can't love that way. Narcissists can only love themselves because they've boxed themselves in to be safe. They've boxed themselves in to say, this is the way the world is and I'm in charge. I have power. And they will knock people down or put people in place if they don't agree. They'll struggle with other people's beliefs because of the fact that those beliefs might think of people being equal, or like narcissists don't buy into my beliefs because they want to have like for instance, if and I don't consider myself a narcissist, and I've had people say that I am, but I've also had people say that I'm too selfless. But for me, everything I'm doing is all about you, right? So, but I also give myself enough leeway to take time off and take care of myself, and so I'm not necessarily fully the one end of the spectrum or the other end of the spectrum. But when you look at narcissism itself, you can't listen to anybody else. You can't hear anybody else because you yourself are the center of your universe, and everything else is supposed to follow what you're saying. And the reason that is not because you're powerful. It's because you're weak. It's because you're literally afraid to not be right. You're literally afraid to be shown as a fraud. You're literally afraid to be less powerful. And, a narcissist will say something, well, this is something, and you say, I disagree, and you'll be like, well, you disagree, and they'll get mad about you disagreeing. And the reason they're getting mad is because, not because you're wrong, it's because you might be right. And that would mean that they were wrong, which means they wouldn't be powerful. And they have mistaken power for love. Right? So the thing that makes them feel good is being powerful. Because it's their addiction. Their addiction is power. And so when they do things to make them feel powerful, when things potentially don't make them feel powerful, they have to knock it down to prove their power. So the narcissistic trait is a completely lonely experience. The narcissist is completely out there on their own and trying to hold on to their power, but they don't realize that all the people around them know they're a narcissist. And they're actually getting diminished by not loving one another. Because you have to love one another. You can't just love just yourself, because that'll weaken you. Just like the empath will be weakened for not loving themselves enough. So it really comes down to the narcissistic trait being an out-of-balanced ego, an out-of-balanced self-awareness, too self-aware to the exclusion of others. And so that's my thought on the narcissistic trait. I hope that answers your question. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. The John of New channel is solely funded by your generous donations and purchases of private readings and merchandise. To help out, go to johnofnew.com or use the donation link in the description below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.